In a small village nestled between the rolling hills and dense forests of Africa, there was a school known to all the children in the surrounding area. The village called Kijiji was rich in tradition and culture. The villagers lived simple lives and everyone knew each other. Children played together in the fields, climbed trees, and shared stories around the fire in the evening. Among these children was a girl named Amina. Amina was known for her kindness and gentle spirit. She had big, curious eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky. Her mother, Mama Aisha, always told her that her eyes were special because they reflected her pure heart. Amina loved going to school and learning new things. She dreamed of becoming a teacher one day so she could share her knowledge with others. However, not everyone was kind to Amina. At school, there were 3 girls who always seemed to find joy in making Amina's life difficult. They were Nia, Zuri, and Fatima. Nia was the leader of the group. She had a sharp tongue and was known for her quick wit. Zuri, the tallest of the 3, was strong and often used her size to intimidate others. Fatima, the quietest, had a knack for scheming and always came up with new ways to torment Amina. The 3 girls were jealous of Amina. They envied her intelligence and the way the teachers praised her. They didn't understand why Amina was always so happy and why everyone seemed to like her. This jealousy turned into a burning desire to see Amina suffer. They made it their mission to bully her every day. One sunny morning, as Amina walked to school, she felt a sense of dread in her stomach. She knew that the day would be filled with taunts and cruel jokes from Nia, Zuri, and Fatima. She took a deep breath and tried to focus on the positive things, like her favorite teacher, Mr. Juma, and the stories he would tell them. As Amina approached the school gate, she saw the 3 girls waiting for her. Nia had a sly smile on her face, Zuri crossed her arms, and Fatima looked at her with narrowed eyes. Amina tried to walk past them, but Nia stepped in front of her, blocking her path. Well, if it isn't the little Miss Perfect, Nia sneered. What are you going to do today, Amina? Tell the teacher on us again? Amina's cheeks turned red, but she held her head high. I just want to go to class, Nia. Please let me pass. Zuri laughed. Oh, come on, Amina. Don't you want to play with us? We have a special game just for you. Amina knew that their games were never fun. They always ended with her feeling humiliated and sad. But she didn't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing her scared. She squared her shoulders and said, I don't have time for your games. I need to get to class. Fatima stepped forward and whispered, You don't have a choice, Amina. You either play with us or we make your life even more miserable. Amina's heart pounded in her chest. She knew that if she didn't do what they wanted, they would find a way to make her regret it. She sighed and nodded. Fine. What do you want me to do? Nia's eyes gleamed with excitement. Follow us, she said, leading the way to the back of the school where the teachers couldn't see them. The girls took Amina to a secluded spot behind the school where there was an old abandoned shed. It was a place where no one ever went, and Amina felt a chill run down her spine as she realized they were alone. Nia turned to Amina and said, We have a little challenge for you, Amina. If you can stay inside this shed for the entire day, we'll leave you alone for a week. But if you leave before the day is over, we will make such everyone knows how much of a coward you are. Amina looked at the shed. It was dark and creepy, and she didn't want to go inside. But she also didn't want to give the girls another reason to torment her. She took a deep breath and said, Okay, I'll do it. Nia smirked. Good, now get inside. Amina walked towards the shed, her heart pounding in her chest. She pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was musty, and the only light came from a small broken window. She could hear the girls laughing outside as they closed the door behind her. As the door slammed shut, Amina felt a wave of fear wash over her. She was alone in the dark. with only her thoughts to keep her company. She sat down on the floor and hugged her knees to her chest, trying to stay calm. She thought about her mother and how she always told her to be brave. Hours passed and Amina could hear the sounds of the school day happening outside. She could hear the laughter of her classmates and the voices of the teachers. She wished she could be with them, but she knew she had to stay strong. As the day went on, Amina's fear started to turn into anger. She was tired of being bullied and treated badly. She decided that she wouldn't let Nia, Zuri, and Fatima win. She would stay in the shed for as long as it took to prove that she wasn't afraid of them. When the school day finally ended, Amina heard the girls approaching the shed. They opened the door and peered inside, expecting to see her crying and begging to be let out. But Amina stood up and walked out with her head held high. Nia looked surprised. Well. Looks like Amina isn't such a coward after all. Don't think this means we're done with you, Amina. We'll be back. Amina didn't say anything. She just walked away, determined not to let them see how much their words hurt her. The next day, Amina went to school with a renewed sense of determination. She knew that the girls would try to bully her again, but she was ready. She had faced her fears to come out stronger on the other side. As she walked into the classroom, she saw Mr. Juma standing at the front, ready to start the lesson. He smiled at her and said, "Good morning, Amina. How are you today?" Amina smiled back and said, "I'm doing well, Mr. Juma. Thank you." Throughout the day, Amina focused on her studies and ignored the taunts from Nia, Zuri, and Fatima. She knew that they were just trying to get a reaction out of her, and she refused to give them that satisfaction. During lunch, Amina sat with her friend, Malaika. Malaika had always been there for Amina, offering her support and encouragement. She was the only one who knew about the bullying and how much it affected Amina. "Amina, you look different today," Malaika said. "Did something happen?" Amina nodded. "I faced my fears yesterday, Malaika. They locked me in that old shed behind the school, but I stayed there the whole day. I'm not going to let them scare me anymore." Malaika's eyes widened. "You are so brave, Amina. I'm proud of you." As the days went by, Amina's confidence grew. She continued to stand up for the bullies and refused to let them control her life. She also started to notice that other students were watching her and drawing strength from her bravery. One afternoon, as Amina was walking home from school, she saw a group of younger children being teased by Nia, Zuri, and Fatima. Amina's heart ached for them, and she knew she had to do something. "Hey!" Amina called out, marching up to the bullies. "Leave them alone." Nia turned and sneered. "Why should we?" "It's none of your business, Amina." Amina stood her ground. "It is my business. Bullying is wrong, and I'm not going to stand by and watch you hurt others." Zuri stepped forward, towering over Amina. "And what are you going to do about it?" Amina didn't back down. "I'm going to tell the teachers, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you're doing. You can't keep getting away with this." Fatima looked nervous. "Maybe we should go, Nia." Nia glared at Amina, but she could see the determination in her eyes. She knew that Amina wasn't going to back down. "Fine," Nia spat. "But this isn't over, Amina." As the bullies walked away, the younger children looked at Amina with gratitude in their eyes. "Thank you, Amina," one of them said. "You're a hero." Amina smiled and said, "Just remember, you don't have to be afraid. Stand up for yourself and for each other. Together, we can make a difference." Word of Amina's bravery spread throughout the school and the village. People began to see her as the leader and the role model. Even the teachers took notice and decided to take a stronger stand against bullying. One day, Mr. Juma asked Amina to stay after class. "Amina, I want to talk to you about something important," he said with a warm voice. "I've noticed how you've been standing up to the bullies and helping other students. You're showing remarkable courage and leadership." Amina blushed slightly. "Thank you, Mr. Juma. I just don't want anyone else to go through what I did." Mr. Juma nodded. I understand, and that's why I've spoken to the headmaster. We've decided to start an anti-bullying campaign and we would like you to lead it. Amina's eyes widened in surprise. Me? But I'm just a student. That's exactly why you should lead it, Mr. Juma explained. The other students look up to you and they need someone they can relate to. You have the support of the teachers and the entire school staff. What do you say? Amina thought about it for a moment. She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness, but she knew this was an opportunity to make a real difference. I will be honored, Mr. Juma. Excellent, Mr. Juma exclaimed. We'll start planning right away. We'll need to organize meetings, create posters, and come up with activities that promote kindness and respect. Over the next few weeks, Amina threw herself into the campaign. She worked closely with Mr. Juma and the other teachers, brainstorming ideas and gathering support of her classmates. They held meetings where students could share their experiences and talk about how to stand up to bullies. They created colorful posters with messages of kindness and respect, which they hung all over the school. The campaign quickly gained momentum. Students who had previously been too scared to speak up began to find their voices. They stood up for themselves and for others, creating a united front against bullying. Amina felt a sense of pride and fulfillment as she saw the positive changes happening around her. One afternoon, as Amina was preparing for a meeting, she heard a knock on the classroom door. She looked up and saw Nia, Zuri, and Fatima standing there. They looked nervous and unsure of themselves. Can we talk to you, Amina? Nia asked quietly. Amina nodded, gesturing for them to come in. Of course. What's on your mind? Nia took a deep breath. We've been thinking a lot about what you've been doing. We never realized how much our actions were hurting others. We are sorry for what we did to you and to everyone else. Amina could see the sincerity in their eyes. She knew it took a lot of courage for them to admit their mistakes. I appreciate your apology, she said softly. It's not easy to admit when you're wrong, but what matters now is what you do going forward. Are you willing to help us with the campaign? Zuri and Fatima nodded eagerly. Yes, we want to make things right. Zuri said, we want to be part of the solution. Amina smiled. That's great to hear. We could use your help. Everyone has a role to play in making our school a better place. The three former bullies joined the campaign with enthusiasm. They shared their own stories and talked about how they were trying to change. Their involvement had a powerful impact on the other students, showing that it was never too late to make amends and start afresh. As the weeks turned into months, the anti-bullying campaign continued to grow. The school became a place where kindness and respect were valued above all else. Students looked out for each other, and the sense of unity and community became stronger than ever. Amina's leadership and bravery were recognized not just within the school, but throughout the village. She was invited to speak at community events, where she shared her stories and inspired others to take a stand against bullying. Her dreams of becoming a teacher seemed more attainable than ever, as she realized that teaching wasn't just about academics. It was about making a positive impact on people's lives. One day, as Amina was walking home from school, she saw a group of children playing in the field. They waved at her and called out her name, their faces filled with admiration. Amina waved back, feeling a warm glow in her heart. She knew that she had made a difference and that the seeds of kindness and courage she had planted would continue to grow. As she reached her home, her mother greeted her with a hug. I'm so proud of you, Amina. Mama Aisha said, you've become a true leader, just like I always knew you would. Amina smiled. Thank you, Mama. I couldn't have done it without your support and love. Mama Aisha held her close. Remember, my dear, you have the power to change the world. Never forget that. Amina nodded, feeling a sense of purpose and determination. She knew that her journey was just beginning and that there were still many challenges ahead. But she also knew that she had the strength and resilience to face them, and that she was never alone. The story of Amina and her fight against bullying became a legend in the village of Kijiji. It was told around the fire on cool evenings, passed down from generation to generation. It served as a reminder that even the smallest act of courage and kindness could create ripples that changed the world. And so, the village of Kijiji thrived, united in their commitment to kindness and respect. Amina's legacy lived on, inspiring countless others to stand up for what was right and to believe in the power of their own voices.